Okay, welcome back to the channel. We've got some work we're going to do on the 4Runner. But in today's video, we're going to be replacing the drive belt, the water pump pulley, and the alternator pulley. So there's the alternator, we'll get that off. I'm going to start off by taking the engine cover off. This plastic piece, the battery, I'm going to disconnect the terminals. May or may not take the whole battery out depending on if I need space or not. We've got our OEM water pump, so we're going to get that on. And then we have our OEM thermostat assembly. We also have a Goodyear drive belt. That's the part number for the 4Runner if you are wanting to order this one. Then we've also got a new water pump pulley, just something to spice up the engine instead of the plain black one we have in there. And then we've got our alternator pulley as well, anodized in blue. So we'll go ahead and get those on. Okay, we got to the point where we got the engine cover off. We've got the battery out. Now we'll loosen the top of the radiator cap. Then we'll come down and loosen the petcock. You might need some pliers to loosen this up. I've already gotten mine loose. There we go. Oh, let's try that again. There you go. Take the radiator cap off. So get some nice flow going down below there. Okay, so we've got the thermostat housing out. Meanwhile, I also ended up disconnecting the wires on the alternator. This connector plugs into the alternator. Make sure you take that out. There is a release on the side, so you can push that in and take that off. That's just a 10mm bolt. I unscrewed it, took this off, and then screwed it back on. So this helped me quite a bit when I was trying to remove the bolts on the fan belt. As you can see, when you try to remove these bolts, these little silver bolts here, the whole thing spins, including the pulley that's on the water pump. So if you can get some vice grips on here to hold it in place while you twist, that helped me tremendously to get these bolts loose. Also, I would highly recommend that you have a long extended wrench to get to the fan shroud bolts that are on the water pulley. A small wrench is just not going to cut it. This thing has so much leverage, I was able to loosen them with no problem. There we go. That'll come off with the fan shroud. Let's see, we have a couple bolts here. I think we've got one down here and then another one down here. Got one right there. Okay, now we got some room to play in the engine bay. So the belt goes around the power steering pump, over the water pump pulley, underneath this pulley, around the alternator, down to the AC compressor, then over this pulley, goes under the crank, and then around, loops all the way back around to the power steering. All right, got the belt off. You can see the water pump pulley is off as well. And I do need to loosen this thermostat. So just quite a few bolts that go all the way around. And you can see the water pump. It's got quite a few bolts there we need to take off. And they're a mix of 10 and 12. So I think what we do is start from the outside, work our way into the inside bolts on the water pump. That's the old one, of course, and the new one's nice blue anodized. Love how that looks. It's gonna be so much nicer. Clean up the engine bay a little bit. Okay, I want to give you guys a quick little update on the alternator. I got the alternator out, however, there is this bracket here. There's a silver bracket here that bolts on to the alternator. And this bracket bolts on to two places on the alternator, one down here, one up here. Nobody was showing the second bolt that you had to take off. So I struggled with this for quite a while. I'm probably not going to put that back on either because it was a big pain. The lesson learned here, don't forget there's two bolts, two 10mm bolts that are holding a wire harness onto the back of the alternator. Don't forget those. And here's my pulley. Let's go ahead and get that switched out. Got the new pulley on the alternator. Look at that. Old, new. We're going to remove this pulley here. This is a reverse thread. So you turn clockwise to loosen it, as opposed to the normal pulleys where you turn counterclockwise. So counterclockwise, clockwise. We're going to take both of these pulleys off. Then we're going to come up here, and there should be about 5 bolts on this. I've got the thermostat loose. As you can see, tons of water coming out of coolant. That's normal. Now for the water pump. Okay, the water pump is off. I should take this gasket off too. Wow, this gasket is like stuck on there. There we go. There we go. Now the water pump is all officially out. There's the gasket. There's the old water pump. It's like a pink rainforest under my 4Runner right now. But there we go. Check out how many bolts I had to take out in order to get the water pump off. Now I got to put them all back and torque them all to spec. Okay, we've got the new water pump on, the new water pump pulley, the new alternator pulley. So just to recap, we replaced the drive belt, put on a new water pump and a new water pump pulley. We have a new alternator pulley. While you weren't looking, I put on the new thermostat as well. But just something to share with you guys. It's kind of lessons learned for the alternator. There are the 2 bolts that you have to take off, one at the top and one at the bottom. It's behind this pulley, so it can't, or actually you can kind of see it there, right down there. What I didn't find on the internet is that this bracket, there are 2 10mm bolts that hold this bracket onto the alternator. Don't forget to take both of them out when you're trying to remove the alternator, because it's attached to this wire loom and it is a pain to get the alternator out. Another tip about the alternator and the pulley will just spin, and there's a fan that spins inside the alternator. I just put a little small screw in there to hold the fan from spinning. So that's a good way of loosening the old one and putting the new one on. We're gonna go ahead and get the fan shroud back on and the fan itself, and then we'll go ahead and throw some coolant in here, plug the battery back up, and we'll give it a start. All right, we've got the fan shroud on, got the fan bolted on to the water pump down there, and now we're just filling up the coolant. So as we fill up the coolant, by the way, using the factory Toyota 5050, ready to use, don't need to add water. It's all ready to go. Now we're gonna go ahead and start up the car, let the bubbles come out, and then we're also gonna blast the heater on full blast so that the coolant can go through the heater core. That might reduce a little bit of this, and then I'll have to put some more in there. But here we go. Okay, just a quick follow-up here. Car's running fine, everything looks good. The only thing is my idle is a little bit lower than it was before, and I think this might be a good thing because it's saving on gas when I'm sitting here. But no, happy with how it all came out. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.